Hello Genos players, Neil Tomlin from Genos Genie here again. If you remember in our last video we spoke about the parts on and off, right 1, right 2, right 3, and there's one for the left hand as well, and the voice select. So we were going to select our voices, but then we wanted to save them. Now this is quite simple, so whatever voice you choose, let's keep it as it is. Right 1 grand piano, right 2 vibraphone, or let's change it glockenspiel, and right 3 a lower guitar. I always like a lower guitar. So there we've changed our voices. Let's exit to the main menu, and we can see there that we've selected the CFX Grand, the glockenspiel, and the lower guitar. So those voices are the ones that you've chosen. Now you want to save those voices. And the easiest way, before we go into there is another way to save one-touch settings, but let's keep it simple today. So we want to save those voices. Now, it's very easy. All we have to do is to select memory, and that's going to give us a bunch of options. So let's select memory. Now there, the registration memory will remember everything on this keyboard. Volume, styles, MIDI files of backing, audio songs, line outs, tempo, chord looper, multipads, the scale, the tune, the transpose, the live control, absolutely everything. Your foot pedals, and this will remember everything, as I said. So it's easy. We've pressed the memory. I'm just going to save everything. You'll notice there's a couple of things that are missing because I never used those. I use those as a setup file, but we'll go into that much later down the line. So we've selected the memory, we've given our choices, and all we have to do is press 1 to 10 to remember everything. So let's go for 1, and there it is. The light lights up, we've selected it, and we can always come back to that at any time. But of course, we have to save the registration memories to our user drive or a USB. Simplest way to do that is to press the registration minus and registration plus together, and together they are select. So press together, file, and save. We're going to save here. We won't. Let's choose the USB. Let's save here. We're going to save, and then you've got the option to name it. So let's delete, and we'll do Genos 23, and then OK. So that is now saved to our USB stick. Just to prove the point, I'll select another bunch of registration memories. So they're completely different. Now we want to return. So let's go to our USB 2. There it is, Genos 23. We select it, and you can see the one that we saved lights up blue. Press that, goes to orange, and we've selected our styles again. Let's go back to the main screen there. You can see Grand, Concert, Glockenspiel, and the lower guitar, which is what we saved. Now that can be quite complicated, I suppose, if you're not used to it. So I'm going to go over it again. So first of all, let's select our voices. Right 1, voice select, woodwind, a baritone sax. Right 2, voice select. It's on glockenspiel, if you remember. We're going to change that to pad. 80s fifth slow, whatever that is. And then we'll go to right 3. Voice select. Let's get rid of the lower guitar. And we'll go to the pedal steel guitar. Okay. So now we've changed those voices and we're going to save them. I'll save the setup. Again, it'll save the rhythm as well. So make sure you've got the right rhythm when you're saving your voices. Memory. And select number 2. Go back to the main screen. If we press registration memory number 1, there are the voices we selected first time. Grand piano, glockenspiel, a lower guitar. Now when we press registration 2, we have the baritone stacks, the 80s fifth slow, which we don't know what it is, and the pedal steel guitar. Press the 2 black buttons together to select the registrations. And there it is, Genos 23. But we're going to save it again. Save. Save here. Genos 23, yes. Okay. The file already exists, which it did. It just had the one blue one. Do you want to overwrite it? Yes. And now Genos 23 registration has got 2 registration memories in it. Now you can name each one of these. Quite simple. Go into menu, select registration bank edit, and there are the 2, 1 and 2. Now the reason it's got after you've gone intro is it's just brought up the one that I did last. So we want to rename these. So number 1, rename, delete after you've gone, and I'll put the one with a lower guitar, then I'll know which one it is. You can name these whatever you like, that's okay. And there you see it's a low guitar. And number 2, let's rename that, delete. The only thing I can remember about that one is the 80s fifth or whatever it was. Okay. And there you got the 80s fifth. Then, of course, we need to save it. Genos 23, save here, overwrite it, okay, yes. I hope that sort of sunk in. We will be going over this again because there's a lot more we can save to these registration memories, an awful lot more. And we will come back to it. But I'm hoping that that just shows you where you can save your voices that you've selected, along with everything else, your style, and rhythm and tempos and everything. You can also save the introductions. So let's go back to 1. Let's select the synchronized start and the intro. Memory 1. That's going to keep those voices because we selected them. And number 2, that'll go back to the, let's go back to the main screen. Number 2, we'll go back to those with the 80s fifth slow. And we can press an ending and we can remember that to number 2, memory number 2. But don't forget then, we have to save them. So 2 together, select, file, save the file, Genos 23, we're saving it here. Okay, overwrite it, yes. There we go. So now, when we go to number 1, notice that the intros come on and the sync starts come on. And number 2, as you remember, was the ending. There you go. Hope you found that useful. If you do have any questions, you can leave them in the comments and I shall get back to you to answer any questions that you may have. please consider subscribing and ringing that notification bell. And also we do have a Patreon page where a lot of styles are free to download for members. New styles or modified styles, along with one-touch settings and registration memories. So if you can support us, do. If you can't, that's not a problem. Just like and share. It really does help the channel. Thank you very much, and see you again next time.